Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, this is BestInSlot, and in celebration of the release of Camp Cretaceous, we're going to take a look at two brand new mods for Jurassic World Evolution tonight. The first is the adult version of my favourite character in the entire series, the breakout character, it must be said, for Camp Cretaceous, and that is Bumpy. So this was made by Real Angry Gal. I'll of course link both these mods on Nexus Mods down below. Don't know why they're angry, but maybe they'll tell us. Here we have Bumpy the ankylosaurus, and there's Bumpy already chowing down on some plant life. So all this does is it replaces the default ankylosaurus skin, that's the default Jurassic World one, not the default Jurassic Park one, with a teal and yellow skin, much like that of Bumpy in the TV show. I mean, it's pretty cool. It's a little bit bright and shiny for my liking. It's a little bit, you know, I can't really see right now, but beyond that, it's pretty cool. And there are some model changes here as well. It's not just a colour replacement all over the body. You can see the yellow primarily on the underbelly, the teal and the white over at the top, but they've also got that sort of big brown club at the end as well and stuff like that. And if we circle around to the front, you'll see first of all the spikes at the front have been removed from the sides to bring it more in line with what Bumpy would look like. And also, more importantly, if we just hop into Ansel for a second, if we swing forward a little bit, there we go, look at that. Bumpy even has the thing. So I should say there are of course spoilers. I'll bring up a spoiler warning at the start, but Bumpy's initial introduction shows Bumpy as being an asymmetrical dinosaur, and Dr. Wu's not very happy about this. This happens very early on in the series, because he thinks all the dinosaurs should be genetically perfect, and Bumpy's born imperfect, but that means it bonds really well with one of the campmates. And yeah, there it is, and this is what it looks like. It's just basically Bumpy has asymmetrical little horns on the back of her head. Oh, Bumpy! Bumpy's looking good. Bumpy's looking adorable. Again, I would probably tone down the brightness a little bit, but beyond that, I think it looks really cool. And it's just nice to have, you know, it's just a nice little thing. Now, before we move on to our second mod of today, Bumpy, whilst not directly doing this in the show, there's a lot of conflict between Bumpy and Bumpy's group and a certain other dinosaur. Carnotaurus. It's Toro. Unfortunately, he doesn't have a big old scar on his face, but close enough. Now, I was actually expecting for much of the show that maybe Bumpy would grow bigger at some point, something like that would happen, and Toro and Bumpy would actually come into combat. That never really happens, but I thought it would be interesting to see. You know, this is a preview of the future. I'm just going to make sure combat frequency is on maximum, which it was not at all. There we go. So, Carnotaurus versus Bumpy, the fight we all wanted to see. Maybe next season when Bumpy's a little bit bigger, you know? Here we go then, the black bars are up just like a TV show. Toro's fuming a little bit, stepping up. Bumpy, fully grown now, does grow quicker because of the, you know, the genetic abnormalities present. Puts up that tail, boom, clubs Toro right in the face. No time wasted. Toro's finally got those scars back, although they're not in the right place quite yet. Oh, no, they sort of are. There we go. We have Toro back in action. Very cool. Bumpy is annihilating Toro here. I will admit, I may have oh, buddy! Oh, just absolutely roundhoused. This is not what happened in the show. I will admit I gave Bumpy some pretty insane stats to make sure that happened. I wasn't going to let Bumpy die. I love Bumpy. Bumpy's the best thing about Camp Cretaceous. Now, there was another interesting scene in Camp Cretaceous. I'm not going to overtly try to spoil things, but there's a scene later on into the show where the campers are going through an underwater tunnel cave kind of system, and they run into a bunch of fluorescent, bioluminescent parasaurolophuses. And it's a super weird scene with no explanation. It feels very out of place. It's cool, but out of place at the same time. It's very strange. But somebody's actually managed to make the bioluminescent parasaurolophus. So credit to Sweetener. And again, I will link these down below. These are the Camp Cretaceous bioluminescent parasaurolophus. And if we nip over here, you'll see we have a whole herd of them over here in the waterways. I tried to make it as wet as possible, as you do. Well, whether it's wet enough is a whole other kettle of fish, but there really wasn't much else I could do. Now, on a basic level, let's take a look at these guys first. Let's just have a little peekaroo and see what they look like, because they look really cool, and they look like the parasaurolophus from Camp Cretaceous. I've got the you know, that bright... I love the colour gradient at play here. This kind of like deep purple, and it gets lighter and lighter. Little hints of orange and yellow in there. Then it diverges into pink, and then it gets lighter and lighter and lighter until it's basically pure white. And then that breaks up down the body. For those of you who watched my... so this bit in the middle, very strange. For those of you who watched my Jurassic World Minecraft series, I'm pretty sure the bioluminescent dinosaurs in that are inspired by Camp Cretaceous. And they have the same kind of patterning to it, where the bioluminescence is kind of jagged and stuff like that. Now, in Jurassic World, I believe the bioluminescence comes from tree frogs, question mark? No, can't be a tree frog. I have no idea. Somebody remind me, because I can't remember. Anyways, it gives them a pattern very similar to this. It's even there on the crest as well. Look at that, isn't that beautiful? Just that little... I mean, I'm a sucker for a good gradient. What can I say? I love a good, sexy gradient, and that is a good, sexy gradient right there. And then the striping on the set. It's just a really cool... On a basic level, if you wanted to recreate the scenes from Camp Cretaceous, now we have 2 dinosaurs, which will help you do so. And Toro is already there. We could do with a couple other things, maybe, but, you know, it's a good start. It really is, to having, like, a full Camp Cretaceous pack. Now, no, I have not tested this, but... would it be much point of a bioluminescent dinosaur if it wasn't actually bioluminescent? And it does say on the mod page that it glows at night, at least more than other dinosaurs. We can't quite yet make them glow completely, you know, just and like properly shiny, but maybe we can do something. So let's swap over to nighttime. I want to see a rave right here. I'm excited. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. It's definitely not as glowy as you would hope. You'd want it to be actually look like it's shining, but compare that and the colour on it to the rest of the body, which isn't bioluminescent. Compare that to, say, I mean, you can see them from a distance, can't you? Compare that to, say, Bumpy. Actually, Bumpy looks bioluminescent because Bumpy's so bloody bright, but... Alright, Bumpy, do you think? But he's just going to live now with the corpse of Toro. Anyways. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Oh, hello. Yeah, I know. Game. I've played you for 400 hours now. I don't need these tooltips anymore. But what I figured I'd do is cover the edges in as much tree line as possible, kind of make it feel like the cave, at least a little bit. Obviously, I can't actually make it look like a cave in the slightest, so whatever. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. There has actually been, I'm not going to talk too much about it, but there's been a little bit of a mod breakthrough in the last couple of days when it comes to evolution. I haven't shown you anything that relies on that, but keep an eye out on the channel over the next week or so, and you might see some pretty awesome new stuff coming your way as well. Right, sorry. I do have to kill time to 10 minutes though, so... that is our Bioluminescent Parasaurolophus by Sweetener, and our Bumpy the Ankylosaurus by... I'm so sorry, I've forgotten the entire name. Angry Gal. Real Angry Gal, there we go. It's made by Real Angry Gal. Both of these will be linked down below. Any other mod makers out there wanting to take a gamble on this kind of thing? A Toro skin would be pretty cool. Maybe a bit... I'm not going to talk about that, but maybe the scar on the face and stuff like that, as we all saw in the previews. What else would you want to do? You could also do a Ceratosaurus skin and the Brachiosaurus skin and Stegosaurus skin. All of those had new interesting textures and patterns as well. There's definitely options out there to eventually put together a Camp Cretaceous park, and we might do that. We might do a mini park build with Camp Cretaceous stuff. I'm going to give it a couple of weeks and see if more people bring out Camp Cretaceous things, but this is a really good start. We've got Bumpy, we've got the Paras. We could build something pretty interesting, so let me know if that's something you'll be interested in the comment section down below. I will see you lovely folks next time. Please do hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. It's been a weird few days. I promise we're now back to our regularly scheduled content. I know Planet Zoo's not been on for a while. I know we've not done our Cryptid Park for a while. All that stuff will be coming later on this week. I just had to focus on Cretaceous as it came out. I also want to talk a little bit more about Jurassic World Aftermath, because we do have more information about that game and the plot line and stuff like that. So we're going to do a little discussion on that. I love that you can see it in the waterline. That's very cool. Okay, we're going to end it there. Thank you so much for joining me, though, ladies and gentlemen. I will see you lovely folks next time. Cheers, much love as always. Bye-bye.